This is January 12th, and I'm sitting here on the Venice boardwalk watching the sunset. But while I'm doing this, I wanted to ruminate on some things in the Bible. For example, when Jesus was walking on water, and Peter actually has the audacity to ask the Lord to command him to come out on the water, so you know he's trusting in God right there. And he says, "Come," and Peter gets out on the water, and Peter actually starts walking on the water with Jesus. And when he saw the wind come, he became afraid and he started to sink. And the lesson I draw out from this is, it was when he took his eyes off the Lord that he began to lose faith and he began to sink. There's many things to draw our attention away from God. I think the old philosopher, Socrates, said, there's so many things in life, material gains, worldly concerns, that, people never have so much as an inward thought, about God, life, whatever. So, when Peter was solely focused on the Lord, he was walking on water, his faith was whole. But when something external took his attention away, he began to lose faith and became afraid and started to sink. A hole will sink any boat given enough time. Fear actually started to sink him in that situation. So there's a proverb that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." So I don't think it's saying we shouldn't have worldly concerns and whatnot. I think it's saying in whatever concern we have, we should give it to God and he will direct it. The other thing I wanted to mention was when Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Now this is interesting. This is something that's lost in translation, because the words that were used were agape, that Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Now this is the word that's used in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the one that's used at so many weddings. Love is kind, love is patient, and so forth. But Peter responded with phileo, which is the word used in philosophy, love of wisdom. But it's more of a friendly love. It's very different than agape. And again, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Asked him a second time using the same word, agape. And Peter replies, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." But again, Peter responds with phileo, which is not the same word Jesus had used. And Jesus says, "Feed my sheep," and so forth. Again, Jesus asked Peter a third time, but the third time, Jesus did not use agape, he used phileo. And then you see Peter is hurt. We usually think Peter's hurt because he asked him a third time, but this might be something else that factors into it. And Peter said, "Yes, Lord, you know all things, you know that I love you." But it gives it a fuller context when we see the Greek and the two contrasting words of love used here. And the lesson here, I think, is, Jesus is really demanding all of a person, all of one's heart, the fullest extent of love. And we as human beings might get, love mixed up with, romantic feelings, and, but God is really seeking the entire devotion of a person, actually more so than your life partner. Just think about it. He asked Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. I don't think that's something somebody would do for, a husband or a wife. So when God says, "Love me with all your heart and all your soul," it really goes beyond that of a husband or a wife. It's really it's really a sacrifice. There's an old story I heard when I was at Vipassana. It's a meditation place. And it goes something like this. There were these kids that want to go to this party across a lake. So they all sneak out of their houses at night and they get in this boat that they had tied to a tree. And they start rowing and rowing and rowing and rowing. They get so tired from rowing, they take off their shirts and just keep rowing and rowing and rowing. They're sweating, they're tired, it's pitch black, can't really see anything. And they start asking each other, shouldn't we have been there by now? It's been hours, we're killing ourselves. We eventually, the sunrise happens and a little bit of light starts coming so they can see, and one of them turns around and says, hey, I hate to point this out, but nobody untied the rope. So they never went anywhere. I mean, the point of this story is that sometimes, if you are not having the most crucial thing in life, then the rest of it really doesn't matter. No matter how hard you work, if you're missing out on the most important thing, then it's just wasted effort. So I would just ask, do you have that love of God in your heart? Do you have that peace of life that really fulfills you